Okay, so there's been a ton of drama in the sports media world with probably the two biggest faces of media, Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, who once co-hosted ESPN's First Take before Skip jumped ship and started FS1's Undisputed with Shannon Sharpe. So for those of you who don't know the background, Skip was the one who started First Take with a panel of co-hosts, and then I believe Stephen A. joined shortly after in 2011, and together the two took First Take to unparalleled levels. Skip abruptly left in 2016, apparently over contract issues and the fact that he wanted to explore edgier topics on the show but felt handcuffed under Disney's ownership of ESPN. So how things blew up in the past few days all started when Stephen A. Smith was asked on the JJ Reddit podcast about his relationship with Skip, and here's what Smith had to say. But before I roll the clip, I do have to mention that Stephen A. has always given Skip his props and mentions him and Iverson as the two main reasons he is where he is in sports media.
And then in 2012, they weren't satisfied with the numbers, they weren't satisfied with the ratings, the level of revenue that was being generated. Skip Bayless comes to me in the parking lot on the campus of ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut. And he says, I know you got your plans. You love the NBA. You love being out on the road. You love being in the locker room. But he said, but I need you. He said, I've done all that I could to take this as far as I could go. I need you to do this for me, please. He said, I just need 3 years. He said, I think we'll knock it out the park. I thought about it. Those were clearly my best options. They weren't about to give me my own show or anything like that at the time. I thought about it for a couple of days. I said, all right, I'll do it. 1 month later, we were number one.
So there's quite a bit to unpack here. Smith insinuates that ESPN management back in 2012 were dissatisfied with the ratings and revenue, and that it was only until he partnered with Skip that the show took off. Anyways, Skip Bayless responded back on his show, saying that Stephen A. Smith's comments really bothered him and that he felt blindsided. Bayless offered his own recollection of what happened in the early days of First Take, and the story kinda differs from Stephen A.'s take. But before Skip gives his recount, he also mentions that Smith has always been a brother to him more than his actual brother, celebrity chef Rick Bayless, and that he will always love the man. Anyways, here's what Skip had to say about Stephen A.'s comments about him practically begging to partner up with Stephen A.
Let me gather myself. What? I cannot tell you how wrong that was. It was so recklessly inaccurate. It was such shocking fabrication. And my first thought when Ernestine sent this to me to peruse, I thought, how could my brother Stephen A. turn on me like that? On me? Seriously? Stephen A. was suggesting that he saved and then made First Take. How can you save and make a show that was already as big a 1 billion to 1 success story as ESPN had ever seen? The ratings and the revenues were impossibly great when Stephen A. joined me in 2012. With Stephen A. as my partner, First Take would never touch the NFL Monday ratings that it hit in 2011, pre-Stephen A. And I had taken First Take as far as I could? Seriously? I was just getting started. The rocket had just launched the year before in 2011. Stephen A., how dare you?
So Skip here is basically saying that Stephen A. was wrong about the show's ratings prior to him joining. Bayless reiterates that the ratings and revenue were sky high, but I think Skip's biggest issue with Smith's comments were about how he felt belittled or had some of the credit taken away from him by the mere mentioning that Skip had taken First Take as far as he could. Smith kinda alludes that without the partnership, the show wouldn't have skyrocketed, and this obviously didn't sit well with Skip. Honestly, it's not hard to prove who is right or wrong in this situation, as there's probably numbers and hard ratings that can account for who is telling the truth. And I'm sure there are going to be a few former ESPN employees, like maybe Jamel Hill, Michelle Beadle, or Carrie Champion, who might chime in on this whole situation and give their take on what really happened. However, I do believe that with Stephen A. Smith, the show did propel to greater heights, because who recalls those old ESPN TiVo Mania days when the two literally went back and forth? In the end, you have to understand that these two are considered talent like actors. I think they have a little bit of narcissism and an ego to them, and I recall watching Michael Rappaport discuss this a while back. Rappaport has been a guest on Undisputed many times, so he knows both men pretty well.
They're great performers. I don't care if you like them, don't like them, you hate Sean Hannity. These are performers. They don't act like that in real life. Like, I do these sports shows and people ask me all the time, what is Skip like? What is Shannon Sharp like? What is Stephen A. Smith like? I'm like, they're like actors. They're performers. Right. And those people on the news channels, this is the same thing.
In any event, Stephen A. took to Twitter shortly after Skip's response, addressing that he meant no slight to Skip and that he did not lie about a damn thing, but it was more of a misunderstanding. Smith actually doubles down on his previous comments as he reiterates what he said on the podcast, all while giving Skip his flowers. Anyways, I can guarantee others will speak on this issue, and I'll be here to update you guys when that happens.